Hello, my name is Ya Cao. Today I want to talk to you about the argument from Improbability Debunked. Really? This is the third video that I will debunk the so-called debunked video by someone who calls himself Rationality Rules. I will show you he doesn't really live up to his name. He doesn't have much rationality. If you watch his video, you can see his tactic. He uses many images of some so-called fallacies, giving people the impression that he is logical. But in actuality, he uses them to fool the unlearned and ignorant. Unfortunately, many falls like a prey. In his video, he claims that the theists say that the probability of living beings are so small, therefore God must have done it, is not logical. Therefore, it is false. Actually, arguing whether God exists or does not exist is not that simple. One has to look at many aspects before one can conclude either way. When theists say it is improbable, they basically want the atheists to think about that it is unlikely the world would be what it is without a designer. I have a video called The Death Knell of Evolution. I also made a video to debunk Rationality Rules video about his 9 proofs of evolution. From both of the videos, I show that life couldn't be formed by random chances. A protein couldn't be formed even if the Earth is a billion years old. I encourage you to watch them. Even the most basic for living organism like a typical protein is so amazingly structured, it can be the result of random chances, meaning they must be specifically designed. Rationality Rules claims that the theists committed the black and white fallacy. A protein couldn't form from random chances that indicated it is by design and that there is no other choice. How can we commit the black and white fallacy? If the protein couldn't form by random chances, what else can you say otherwise? I welcome him to discuss this in this video. I like to debate with him, but unfortunately, he blocked me from leaving messages on his channel. Also, I have challenged him to debunk my videos repeatedly, and he gives no response. Is that an indication that he is afraid to debate with me? Therefore, his claims that we committed the black and white fallacy is debunked. Secondly, Rationality Rules claims that natural selection means life is not random. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Natural selection is a non-random, natural process whereby organisms that are better suited to their environmental pressures, such as predators and changes in climate, will tend to survive and reproduce in greater numbers than others of their kind, thus ensuring the perpetuation of those favourable traits in succeeding generations.
He clearly said things like the organism succeeding generations, so he admits that natural selection only exhibits in living things. How can you conclude that before life began, before the first living cell even existed, natural selection was in force? There was no succeeding generation for non-living things, and non-organic things will only follow the probability instead. In my video, The Death Knell of Evolution, I clearly show a typical protein is a chain of 400 left-handed amino acids. In fact, in the living organisms, you cannot find a single right-handed amino acid. If in proteins there are more left-handed than right-handed amino acids, that is understandable, but all must be left-handed can only be an indication of design. I used the most basic probability to show it was impossible to be formed. You can't apply the nature of the living things to non-living things. Using his own words, he debunks himself.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, theists. That's not how this game works.
This is so hilarious. Therefore, Rationality Rules claims natural selection argument is debunked. Third, He mentioned the probability of throwing dice. I feel very sorry for him because he didn't know what he was talking about. First, throwing 5 dice with every one turns out 6, the probability is not 7,775 to 1. The correct answer is 1/6 times 1/6 times 1/6 times 1/6 times 1/6, which is 1/5 power of 6, which is 7,776, not 7,775. You can see this guy's math is very lousy. He only knows the very basic of probability. He said boldly that the result of 5 sixes is no more significant than 6, 1, 5, 2, 3. I'm sorry to say that it is wrong. It is not true. When you throw the dice, that you may get this or that. These are the same combination, but they are different permutations. The guy is so lousy, of course, he doesn't know what permutation plays the role in probability. It is more likely to result in 6, 1, 5, 2, 3 than getting all 6s. In fact, it is 720 times less likely to get 5 6s. Therefore, turning all 6s is rare and is more significant. Needless to say, this is not his biggest problem. Because his ignorance, he doesn't know another important thing about probability. If you roll the dice, you get the result of all turn-up 6s. It will be by luck. It will not be much different than getting anything else. But if you roll the dice and you get all turn-up 6 10 times in a row, then you will know the significance of it. Many atheists think that even the probability of life is low, it still could happen. Just like the guy uses this example of the odds of getting you born is small and yet you are here. I have seen a video, someone using stones as an example. If you analyze molecular structure of a stone, the probability of getting that stone is very, very small, and yet it is there. Therefore, they claim that the small probability doesn't prove it wouldn't happen. Unfortunately, they are missing the point. If you choose a password for your computer, any password with a certain length has the same probability. For you, it is very easy. You simply pick one and it happened. But for someone else to guess your password, to hack into your computer, it will be exceedingly difficult. To see an improbability occur is normal, doesn't prove anything because it was by random chances. But to make a reoccurrence a highly improbability proves the improbability is real. Let's use the stone example again. If you pick up a stone, the probability of getting that stone is very, very small, but you have found one. Yet it is very difficult for you to find another stone with the same probability. If someone uses pebbles to pave his driveway, and you found that every single stone in his driveway had the same molecular structure, what kind of conclusion can you draw? You will surely know that all the stones were manufactured by the same company. And in the living organism, that is what you have. The probability of getting a protein is so low, and yet the protein occurs in all living organisms over and over again. Therefore, you can conclude that the improbability is real and all proteins are designed from one designer. If you watch my video, The Death Knell of Evolution, I show you that even if the Earth is 1 billion years old, a typical protein could not be formed. In preparing for this video, I found an excellent video called Origin of Life, the probability of making a protein. I have provided the URL in the description area. It shows even in greater details that it is impossible that the living organism could be the result of random chances. Every atheist should watch that. Rationality Rules also ask the question, who designed the designer? The question is similar to the question, who created God? Please watch my video on if God created the universe, who created God? If God is the first cause of the universe, he needs no designer. I'm sorry to say that this so-called rationality rules doesn't have much rationality. He hardly lives up to the name he picked. Improbability is only one aspect of figuring whether God exists. I have a playlist called How Do You Know God Exists? In it, I provided many other aspects and hope you will watch them. The URL is also provided below. Atheists have a problem because they can't stand the prospect that God exists, so they suppress the truth like an ostrich buried the head in the sand. Hope you are not one of them. Thank you for watching, and may God richly bless you.